Alright, I'm going to do a quick update on the coconuts. You can see the bases are pretty damaged from the freezes we had. But they are growing again because we've been in the 80s for a couple, 4 or 5 days now. And it looks like the lowest temps we're going to have are the high 40s and upper 50s at night, with 70s and low 80s for the next week or so. So that's pretty good. But see, the spear's still green, and the newest leaf is relatively green. The rest of it, though, if we have a look, you can see it's kind of fried. It's got a lot of damage. You can see up there. It's not in the best shape, but it's not dead. I'm not really concerned for its life right now. I think it's fine, and it is actively growing. I don't know if it can take another freeze though. It is in bad shape. It might be able to take one more if we did get another one. But if we get two, I'd be pretty concerned that this tree wouldn't make it. But right now the weather's warm. It's nice and hot out actually. If we have a look at the Panama, you can see the leaf bases are a little damaged as well. The damage took a little longer to show up. You can see on the leaves. But for the most part, it's actually in pretty decent shape. You can see it looks pretty good. And that one was the one that was fully unprotected. It wasn't wrapped at all. The trunk wasn't even wrapped. They said it did really well. I currently don't have a place to put this tree yet. I will once I remove some other trees out of the yard, but we'll see that one grow in the spring. If I head over to the red spicata, we'll have a look at that. But I had watered this one. The soil was really cool, and this one, since it's being a red and yellows, their cool tolerance is a lot lower. It's not as good as the greens or say the Panama tall. So what I had done is I took some warm water to water the soil to raise the temp, because that is a method you can do to help reduce yellowing on palms and stuff during the cool weather. But I think the water was too hot and I damaged the roots, because what started showing up is browning on the newest leaf. Some of those leaflets are turning brown, and that is when you damage the roots with hot water. So I talked with a buddy of mine, and I asked him if the water was too hot, how would that damage start showing up? He said browning on the leaves. That's not related to cold, and that's what this is. So I have damaged the root system, but I don't think I've damaged it to an extent to where it's going to bother this tree too much. It might be a minor setback, and then in the spring, when the roots actively start growing again, it'll regrow its root system and it'll actively start growing. I mean, other than that, get a little bit of browning, but say the red spicata looks pretty well overall, and starting to get a thicker base, which is good. Hoping to see some really good development out of this tree in the springtime. Really looking forward to seeing how this one will turn out. You can see the lower leaves are pretty beat up from the cold, and probably a little bit from, you can see, like, look at that. It's just, they really don't like that cold weather. But newer fronds, I still think the Fiji has it worse than this one does. And something I did after I had watered it with hot water accidentally, and I damaged it. So I marked the spear, because you can kill the palm, especially if you fry the roots. You can kill it and it may not recover, but I think it'll recover fine, because I don't know if you guys can see the wind will stop blowing for a moment or so. See if I can But you see the marks over there on the bottom of the spear? I marked the spear and it's grown probably about an inch in the past 3 days, which is pretty good for winter growth. So as long as it's growing, I don't think this tree is going anywhere. So it seems pretty fine to me, the fact that the spear is still growing. So I think the hot water just minorly damaged it. But the overall look of the palm right here, I'd say it looks pretty good. I may get some more of the red spicata next year. I mean, this year. I may get more, 1 or 2 more. Put one up front, because this one is one of my favorites. I really do like the color and the look of this one. And I'll see you guys in the next update.